Hello and welcome back to English Classes Online. If you are preparing for the IELTS exam, today's lesson could be the difference between scoring band 6 and scoring band 8 or even higher. We are looking at top 12 IELTS mistakes you must avoid. And I am going to give you clear examples so that you will know exactly what not to do. This video will be the game changer you have been looking for. So let's dive right in. Now let's look at the top 12 IELTS mistakes you must avoid. Beginning with mistake number 1. Not knowing the test formats. Understanding the structure is critical. Many candidates lose points simply because they don't understand the 4 sections, which are listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Now, here is the common misstep associated with this mistake. For example, spending too long on reading questions and running out of time for writing, leading to an incomplete essay. Now, why familiarity matters? Familiarity with the format helps manage time and expectation, significantly reducing exam-day stress and improving performance. This brings us to mistake number 2, which is not answering the question directly. One of the biggest mistakes in the IELTS writing and speaking test is avoiding the main points. For example, if the task says, discuss the advantages and disadvantages of online education, and you spend all your time talking about how you hate technology, you will lose marks. You will lose marks because you have failed to address the main issue. Instead, directly mention at least one advantage and one disadvantage, then explain them. Because the question says discuss the advantages and disadvantages of online education. You were not asked to narrate or explain how much you hate technology. Mistake number 3, writing too few words in writing task. IELTS writing task 2 requires at least 250 words. If you write only 200 words, you will lose marks. For instance, a short essay like online learning is good, it saves time, it helps people, full stop. This is too short and too undeveloped. So you need to aim for 260 to 280 words so you have enough details without wasting time. Mistake number 4, poor time management. One of the most critical errors is misallocating time. For instance, spending 20 minutes on one writing task and then having to rush the other one, resulting in a low quality response. Here is the tip. You need to practice consistently under timed conditions. Allocate specific time per question and stick to it during your preparation. In writing, spend 20 minutes on task 1 and 40 minutes on task 2. In reading, Don't get stuck on one question. Skip it and come back. Mistake number 5, overcomplicating your sentences. Many candidates think that longer sentences mean better English, but this is wrong. Example of a bad sentence is as follows. Considering the fact that globalization in the 21st century has led to numerous and multifaceted changes that have consequently influenced the lifestyles of individuals across the globe. Dash, dash, dash. You know, this sentence is too complicated. All right? So do not bite more than you can chew. This is too heavy. Instead, simply write, globalization has changed how people live all over the world. Simple. Instead of all those, all those multitudes of words in an unending sentence that we end up confusing the reader. Okay? So avoid over complicating your sentence. The one I have read is clearer and more powerful. Globalization has changed how people live all over the world. Simple. Everyone who reads it will understand what the idea you have communicated. Mistake number 6, incorrect grammar in speaking. Here are the common pitfalls. Candidates often make basic grammatical errors like incorrect tense use. For example, I live here for 5 months instead of I have lived here for 5 months. Sometimes it is missing the S in the third person. For example, he go instead of he goes. Okay? Now, another example is confusing been and gone in answers. For example, I have gone to the market versus I have been to the market. You know, the impact on scores, the impact of incorrect grammar in speaking on scores is quite more. These grammatical mistakes significantly reduce your fluency and coherence scores, making your speech sound unnatural and hindering the examiner's understanding. Mistake number 7, overusing or misusing idioms. We have to look at natural versus forced language. While idioms can enhance your scores, using them incorrectly or too frequently makes your language sound unnatural and forced. For example, using an informal idiom like kick the bucket in a formal written essay or academic speaking context is inappropriate, and this will reduce your score. So what you need to do is to make sure you use idioms sparingly and only when you are absolutely confident of their precise meaning and correct context. Mistake number 8, taking too much or too little, talking too much or too little in speaking. Let's begin with over-talking, which is number 1. Rambling or excessive use of filler words such as like can annoy examiners and make your answers difficult to follow. Focus on concise, relevant responses. All right. Now, under-talking is also a problem. Providing only short one-word answers, for example, saying just yes or no in answer to a question, fails to demonstrate your language ability and limits your score potential. So you are asked a question, you simply say yes or no. That is not what is expected in the IELTS speaking. You are expected to provide some information. Now, here is the right balance. For example, balance detail with relevance. Instead of a life story or telling a life story when you are simply asked what is your name, you can give a brief, appropriate answer, then elaborate on related topics if prompted. So there must be moderation. You don't need to talk too much, and you don't need to talk too little. So talking too much or too little in speaking will make you lose marks. Mistake number 9, speaking like a robot in a speaking test. That's another mistake. Monotone speech makes you sound less fluent, okay? For example, when you say, my name is John, I live in Lagos, I like reading, that sounds monotonous, okay? Instead, add natural intonation. My name is John, I live in Lagos, and I really enjoy reading. You add variety to your presentation. Don't sound too monotonous or robotic, if you like. Mistake number 10, lack of writing task structure. Now, your writing needs to have a definite structure, beginning with number 1, clear introduction. Every essay or report requires a strong introduction that sets the stage and outlines your main points. Then this should be followed by coherent body paragraphs. Develop distinct body paragraphs, each focusing on a single idea with supporting examples and evidences to avoid mixing unrelated concepts. Make sure you do not mix unrelated concepts together. Then there should be a concise conclusion. Summarize your main arguments and provide a clear statement, a clear final statement without introducing new information. All right, summarize your main arguments and provide a clear final statement without introducing new information. Excuse me. Now take note that structured essays are significantly easier for examiners to follow and understand, which of course translates directly into higher scores for coherence and provision. Mistake number 11, misusing complex vocabulary. Throwing in big words without knowing their meaning can lower your score. For example, when you write or say, the government promulgates the happiness of citizens. This doesn't make sense. Instead, you can simply write or say, the government promotes the happiness of citizens, because that first sentence is as a result of being ignorant of the meaning of promulgate. Mistake number 12, insufficient practice across skills. Many candidates focus excessively on vocabulary memorization while neglecting other crucial skills like grammar, pronunciation, or writing mechanics. Example, knowing thousands of words won't help if you can't form grammatically correct sentences or speak them fluently in a real-time conversation. Some students only read tips but never simulate the real exam. For example, if you only write essays slowly at home, you may fail to finish in the real test. So you need to sufficiently practice under real exam conditions. So practice timed tests as you train your brain to think and write quickly. Now, here is the final tip. Prepare smart, not just hard. Focus on core skills. Avoid getting sidetracked by trivial questions. For example, can I write TF instead of true or false? Instead, dedicate your energy to improving your fundamental English skills and mastering effective exam strategies. The key pillars. Remember that confidence, clarity are your best tools for IELTS success. These are the pillars. Now, your next step, ready to ace the IELTS by actively avoiding these common mistakes and applying the tips shared here. You are well on your way to achieving your target band score, which is either 8 or 9. Avoid these 12 mistakes and you will greatly improve your chances of getting your desired band score. If you found this lesson helpful, make sure you like the video, subscribe to English Classes Online, and turn on the bell, thereby activating the notification so that you never miss any of our tips. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.